Are you ready to make these delicious double chocolate chip cookies with me? Follow along and I'll make it as easy as possible. You'll need a pen and paper for this part. Here's the recipe. In bowl 1, you'll want to add 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 3/4 cup of cocoa, and then blend those two ingredients together. Once you're done, add 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of white sugar, 2 eggs, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now go to bowl 2. In bowl 2, you'll want to add 2 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 cups of chocolate chips. It's time to grab your tools and measure out all your ingredients. Let's start putting all the ingredients together. We're going to start melting the butter. Grab a pot and melt the butter on stovetop, but don't allow it to boil. Once your butter is melted, add it to your blender. Then grab your cocoa and mix that with the melted butter. Remember to scrape the sides at all times. While that's mixing, here's an important notice for you. Mixing cocoa with melted butter will help the chocolate melt smoother and slightly lowers its hardening texture. Note, cacao is the raw, unprocessed form of cocoa. If you're using cacao, the taste can be bitter, slightly. Now it's time to add your brown sugar and your white sugar and continue mixing. Once you get the crumbly texture, it's time to add your eggs. Oops, I almost forgot. Add your vanilla extract too. While that's mixing, grab a second bowl. In that bowl, you're going to want to add your flour, salt, and baking soda. Grab your wooden spoon, or you could use a plastic spatula, and stir up the dry ingredients. After 3 minutes of mixing the wet ingredients, and it has a nice light and frothy texture, add the flour mix slowly and use a plastic spatula or a wooden spoon to mix until all the dry ingredients are incorporated together. That means it's time for the joke of the day. Why was the cocoa bean scared to leave his home? Because he was afraid he might get mugged. Okay, let's get back to mixing. And we're on our last step. It's time to add the chocolate chips. This is a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. For the next part, you're going to need your large non-stick cookie sheet, or you can add parchment paper if you don't have a non-stick cookie sheet. Using a small scoop, scoop your cookie dough and allow 1.5 inches apart. This allows room for your cookie dough to spread when you're baking it. For the next part, it's up to you. If you want a rustic cookie, meaning the edges are all rough, you can leave it as is. But if you prefer to have smoother edges, then just take your finger and go around your cookie and smooth around the edges. Time to place your cookies in a preheated oven for 10 to 11 minutes. Remember to set your timer. Did you know chocolate was once only consumed by the rich? Up until 1828, when a Dutch chemist named Conrad van Houten discovered a way to treat cocoa beans with alkaline salt, which was easier to mix with water, a process known as Dutch processing, to make a powdered chocolate called cocoa powder. Once your timer goes off, remove your cookies from the oven and allow them to sit on the cookie sheet for approximately 5 minutes. Then, place them on a cooling rack to allow them to cool. Thanks for watching, and hey, leave us a comment below and let us know how your cookies turned out. Don't forget to subscribe for more great recipes.